You know those moments before you jump into a mission you think, what weapons am I going to use this time around? Well, I just remembered something exists that should appear here, but for some reason doesn't. Kullervo came with a primary, the Rauta. You have to enter Tigris during the anger, fear or sorrow spirals to get the prison to spawn in to fight Kullervo by basically speaking to the warden, who is sitting right up here, and then get the Kullervo mains. Then just find this person and yeah, Kullervo's, and there it is. 12 just for the blueprint, then another 6 for the barrel, 6 for the receiver, and 6 for the stock. Probably the best thing about this. These are build components, not blueprints. That obviously needs these 3 to build it, but still, that's 30 of these silly Kullervo bins before you can do anything to get a hold of this weapon. But once you have suffered through the whole taking out Kullervo, you'll actually be able to get a hold of this, finally. And yeah, I completely forgot this thing existed. It comes with 1 D polarity, a dash polarity over in its Exilis slot, but a D polarity. And probably worst of all, it's a shotgun, which means it uses shotgun mods. And it does quite an insane amount of damage. I know, before anybody mentions it, should have got rid of that D polarity, actually ended up putting Chilling Grasp in there and ended up with an insane amount of damage to this thing. Damn. This was the first time in quite some time in Warframe I've actually picked up a weapon and with the first shot instantly went, oh dear me, this thing's actually pretty good, instead of going, oh, I'm gonna have to spend days leveling this up, formering it some more, formering it some more. Is it worth the former? It's kind of a pile of rubbish once it's done anyway. No. Before actually putting a former in this thing, it was annihilating level 80s. Because I level things inside of Elite Sanctuary Onslaught, and I joined in the second round and the enemies were like level 74. I kind of forgot to leave. I was having too much fun with this thing, and they were about level 85, 86 when I left. And that was just from the build I had on it. It just got better from there. But of course, I will be doing this more on facts of, let's see, what was that, 2,500? Oh, it's like 700s, isn't it? That's not a lot of damage at all, actually. Okay. I thought you would be coming up with higher numbers than that. That's like 400s. Like 1,000 at most. I guess we're just going with the fact it takes 3 shots. But after swapping it over to as close as I could get, but using all the crit rather than the status, obviously the status has come down, it will take a lot more shots. In fact, that was about the same number of shots. Nope, okay. Definitely more shots. The damage seems to be about half of what it is. And this is more with the best, basically all the crit mods, and constant headshots. So it has increased as much as it possibly can. We're barely seeing any crits. And when it is, it's still about 4,000. 5,000. I'm going back to status. Because at least with the status, it's 1, 2, and to be fair, could then finish them that way. But even at a little bit of range, it's still 3 shots. And that was Blast and Corrosive, which I do for some reason have this on if I stick it to the Viral and Radiation I usually use. It's the same amount of shots. Because obviously Viral, when it does kick in, will pretty much annihilate all health. Which is why I tend to run Viral more than anything else. Go away. No? In fact, I'm just going to leave you with no health. Enjoy that. still doing about the same number, but obviously the crit damage, okay, 2-shot, is a lot less, sadly. 3,614. But we're still seeing this about the same number of crits we had before. When the Kavat kicks in, yes, this thing will get a lot more crit. But that goes for every weapon, not just this. This is definitely more of a status-based weapon than it is crit-based. That enemy just got one-shot. That's a level 195, one-shotted. There is a reason I really like this. There is a reason I ain't taking this off. In fact, I will probably be forming this a few more times. Imagine it with a Riven. It will be complete insanity. Okay, I will openly admit, it's no Tigris Prime killer. 62,000 damage? It's about half the damage, but here's the thing. The Tigris fires 2 shots and has 4 barrels. This has 1 barrel and fires 4 shots. So it actually kind of works out at doing about the same damage, because at half the damage and the same amount of rounds, it works out about the same. It just takes longer to actually deal the damage. So yeah, the Tigris, I'm aware you can technically use it to fire 4 rounds. Hold in the fire when you fire it, it will fire 1 round. When you release fire, it will fire the other round. So you can make it fire 4 rounds, but why? If you're trying to take down an enemy quickly, you fire all the rounds into it as quickly as you can. This, I don't know what it was with this. I think it's the fact it fires 1 round at a time. So the best way to look at the Rauta was the really bad pronunciation of the name of it, but more importantly, the fact that it's basically a single shot Tigris, but very heavily status based, not crit based, which is kind of a shame, but at the same time not so much. 3 shots into a level 195, yeah, that's nothing to be shunned. I do wish it had the 10% crit that the Tigris Prime had. That would make it so much better, and I'm willing to sacrifice the 0.8% status to get there, but yeah. Having that extra bit of crit would have helped this thing quite a lot. But it doesn't have crit. It is a status-based shotgun, no matter how you want to put it. Crit, it works, but it's less effective than building this thing to status. And it's not the best of builds anyway. It's basically damage with some multi-shot, and elemental damage everywhere else. I'm ignoring this because it's basically, I was using it so much I kept running out of ammo. Yeah, it's just the 4 dual stat elemental mods in this. And you can, of course, swap them around to get any combination that you really want to. Quite literally. It depends what faction you are going up against, but I just always keep coming back to the fact that because it fires 1 round at a time, it has a 4 magazine and it's doing half the damage of the Tigris Prime. This is basically a single shot status based Tigris. That's basically all I can say about it. The Prime version of this, ooh, that I am looking forward to. It will come eventually, because that, if they add more crit to this, it will make for some interesting builds, but more importantly, some amazing damage coming from it. But just as it sits, it's not going to dethrone the Tigris, because that just annihilates pretty much everything. But it's getting really close to the point of, when it comes to status, personally, I think this is, as I titled the video, best in class. And with the whole Vos Prize recall event going on this week, it's completely and utterly useless, but it will pretty much one-shot Vor. Even though you've got to one-shot them 3 times because of the 3 phases in the battle, it's still fun to use something like this to take out an enemy like that. And with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.